Welcome back to Qtronics, where I have all the gear and no idea. And today we're going to be doing a quick fix. Now, yes, every time I say quick fix, it's never the case, but fingers crossed today actually is a quick fix. So I recently had a friend reach out to me about their friend's Nintendo Switch, and basically they've got an unpatched one, as you can see here with the RCM loader, but they were playing and they ejected their SD card while playing, and then all of a sudden it stopped working and turned off. And when it came back on, you can see we've got a message here saying the SD card isn't working. So my hopes are this is going to be a really quick fix, and all we need to do is replace the SD card reader. I'm hoping that is the case. So it should be nice and quick. We don't even need to get the heat shield off. We just need to take the back plate off, and let's go. So let's dive straight into it and see if that is the case. Right then, let's get this open. So I'm hoping this is nice and quick today. If you've not, this is the first video you've seen of mine. I've got a few quick fix videos before this, and none of them have gone well. I believe my last quick fix video was a Nintendo Switch Lite USB-C port. I thought, oh, that'll be quick, that will. Yeah, it took about 3 hours for me. Did work in the end. So we got there, but not a quick fix. But I reckon next time I need to change USB-C port on a Switch, I'll be able to do it. I understand the process now. Right then, so we start with tri-wing, and we have four tri-wing screws in the corners here. I'll zoom in a little bit more so you get that nice view. Right, let's crack those out. Just pull up a little bit, it'll pop out. There we go. It's just pressurised in on two little springs. Right, I'm going to remove the SD card while we're here as well. Move on to a triple JLS screwdriver. So we have one Phillips here. It would help if I picked up the right bit. Right, let's try that again. Right, one screw on the top. Now I'm not sure if these are not magnetic, because the ones on the yeah, they're not magnetic, so be careful you don't lose them because they're very, very tiny. And then we have two screws on the bottom. Right, and that's all the screws for that. And then the last two are the, I think it's the middle screw. Let me just double check here. So it's the middle screw on either side of the Joy-Con rails. Much easier than the Switch Lite or any of the other ones. There we go, back's popped off. Right then. And then if I just turn my lights down ever so slightly, we should see here, this is the SD card reader. So if we get a little spludger, ready, and then we have one Phillips screw here. And I believe we just come from under here. So if we lift it up, and then it's just connected just under here. So if you get the spludger in there and pull up, there we go, it just lifts away. Now let's have a quick look at that. See if I can see any, see if we can see any traces or issues. Oh, I think that's potentially missing a pin. Yeah, that looks to me like a pin. It's missing there. It's definitely not stuck in there. Let me just try the new part, just in case we're not supposed to have a pin there, but I fully believe there is supposed to be a pin there. So let's have a quick look. So to replace it, we just push it back down. Right, I'm going to just screw that Phillips screwdriver back in, the Phillips screw back in, and we can just give it a quick test. But that did look like a pin was missing. So I'm not a massive fan of that. Right, let's give it a try. Well, we're getting a straight fail to initiate or mount SD, which is good or not good. Let's just make sure I've actually got that in place. Right, I definitely clipped in this time. Let's give it another try. If not, it looks like we're going to have to try and change that port. Maybe I just seated it wrong. No, it's definitely not initializing, is it?
Here's what I'm going to do.
Right then, we're back, and I've got one of this is just a broken board that I bought recently, just so I've got some test devices so I can see bits and bobs, and I have some potentially extra bits that I can solder off, so like connection ports and stuff. Now, if we take a look here, there's not a pin missing, so that means this is broken, not by just ejecting an SD card. So I'm not sure how they've done that. So, you think it's safe to assume that this is not going to be a quick fix, is it? I'm going to have to get more parts out, so just double checking I can't find the part. I'm going to try it one last time, but I think we're going to need to change the connector. Right then guys, we're back. Now I had to take a short break, hence the change of clothes, but I've got the scope, I've got the big mat out, so let's get it under the scope and I'll talk you through what's happening, because I did a little bit of research, so let's get over to the scope. So, right where we left it, I showed you that we're missing a pin, and I thought, oh, that's clearly the issue then. But I did a bit of research, and this second pin here is actually just ground. You can see the trace flying through there. So it actually doesn't matter, because we've got quite a few ground pins on here, like these two here, this one. So it's not a data line, but I mean, you saw it then, I literally touched it. So what I want to check is if any of these pins are loose. I mean, I literally just touched the first pin and it was loose, so it's pretty obvious one of these pins is loose. So let's have a little look, and hopefully, because it's only pins, we won't need to actually get the board out of the holder, so it's nice and quick still. But I am going to lift this up ever so slightly so we can see if these pins move. So I think it's pretty clear that one's moving, right? I mean, it still does look soldered on. They're not all those pins. Nah, that one does feel a lot looser than all the rest. Oh no, that one feels loose as well. No, a couple of these pins are definitely loose. Right, I'm going to check the other side, but I think I'm just going to resolder the pins nice and quick, hopefully. A little tiny bit of flux as well. Let me just get a good focus on here. Put down here. It's a bit of a funny angle, so just bear with me while I get the tweezers in the right place. I think all those pins are actually fine. But like I said, let's get the soldering iron out and we'll just go over each pin. Hopefully nice and quick. Quick fix. It's still got a chance. It's still on. It's still on the tables for a quick fix.
But sometimes in life you have to realize a poor investment and simply cut your losses. Write that down.
Right, I am going to get my extractor fan because I'd quite like to not die, so let's get the fan out. And the thermal plate on this looks like absolute So I'll replace that one here as well. So we do just want a tiny bit of flux on here, nothing crazy. As well, you can see look how big this is, and then when I put it actually next to the part, look how huge it is. So as you can imagine, we just want a tiny bit of flux. Especially I don't want it to leak in to the port. I recently picked up some alcohol wipes with these will because they're nice and easy. But I wipe down my tweezers then. Good for screens as well. And get that flux off here. Yeah, so I've been doing a bit of experimenting, and if you watch Joey Does Tech or anyone like that, he says it's a lot easier to clean it with when it's warm, and it definitely is. So let's get this off. That was well too much IPA. So I think it was just that one pin next to the other pin that had broken. But like I said, luckily, it was a ground pin that's missing, else this becomes a much bigger job, really. Because we have to start getting the board out, heating the whole thing up. And to be honest, it wasn't something I was prepared to do at the moment. Just with my time constraints, so... Solid, 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 and solid. Right, I'm happy all those are good. Let me just get a cotton swab out and just try and dry this up a little bit more. I think most of the IPA is done now. Where did I put my dry cotton swab? Right then, back to the board. Let's get the SD card reader in and the SD card, and we'll have a little look. I'm just going to pop the heat shield on it, just so it's in place, just so I ain't got to worry about touching things, and the heat is dispersed nicely. And then, as I said, I will clean up that thermal paste then. So between starting this and now, I actually was given an electric screwdriver, so that's quite nice. Oh, whoops, left it on. Probably should have taken the battery out when I did that soldering. I'd forgotten, so let that be a lesson to you. Oh, hey, let's look at, what is it, tools, console information, micro SD. Let's see if this works this time. I assume we'll get some information down there if it's working okay. But it's definitely picked it up though. Give it a second, see if it can read that. For all I know, it could have taken the memory card out when it did this. If it has, I'll get a fresh Hitachi out and we'll have a look. I wonder how they actually had this working there. I mean, it's not throwing the error saying there's no memory card now at least, which is good. Just going to boot Android, see if they were messing with this or not. If not, I actually have no idea how this is set up. I don't mess with hacked switches past the point of just loading atmosphere, because I don't. I don't pirate. I only like to turn the the clock speeds up. So let's just boot normally now and see if it'll start playing games. Let's see if this boots up normally. So it's booting up at least. This took ages to boot up last time when the SD card was playing up. So let's see what happens now. That's definitely faster. Right, none of these games worked that were on here previously. So if I just bring this a bit closer to you. So let's just see if anything works. No. That's extremely weird, isn't it? Like, it was almost like there's nothing on this memory card. Let me get another version of Hiteki on here and we'll have a look. Right guys, so I've just got a fresh version of Hiteki on here, an Atmosphere, so let's boot it up and see what happens. So if we go to console information, microSD, it's found the fat volume, so I think their memory card might be kaput. So I'll be back with you again in a minute when I've copied the contents of that card onto a new card and we'll see what happens. Right, catch you in a sec. Right then, we're back. I've transferred all the data over to a new card. So let's get into Hiteki and give it a test. Right then, so we're booted into a Hiteki. That's the one, Hiteki. Double check that micro SD. There we go. We're getting the fat volume pop up now. Nice, that's very good. And then if we go over to home, and we now have a Atmosphere and the standard system then working. So let's jump into Atmosphere. Let's make sure it plays a game. And then if so, we're all good. And it's finally a quick fix. So I'm just going to check the, yeah, it's definitely saying, oh, no, I don't want to do that. That was an accident. Anyway, let's see if Pokemon loads now. Yeah, that's loading as far as I can. We'll just wait till we get to the title screen. I like to see a title screen. There we go. Onto language select. Perfect. Right then, I am happy with that. Let's turn it off and get it put back together, and then we'll find, and we're done up there. Right, we're off. Let's just put it back together. And now for my editor's favourite part. He loves this part. If I can undo the tube anyway. My editor's favourite part, a jizzle of thermal paste.
Or I quit, how about that? I quit and you never see me again, how about that?
There we go, a nice jizzle. Then let's screw those screws back in and finish up. And I'm classing that as a quick fix. And there we go then. Finally, we've got a quick fix. Yeah, all good. So if you have any issues with your SD card reader and you're missing a pin, double check the guides out there to find out which pin is which. If I get a chance, I will put the screenshot of the pins up here somewhere and you'll see, but hopefully it's just one of the ground pins. Solder all the rest and job's good. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, it helps my channel to grow, and let me know if you enjoyed that and if there's anything you want to see me do. Right then, I'll catch you next time. Bye.